The Fallout franchise just might be the darkest game series of all time. Not only was the world completely wiped out by nuclear detonations, but those who survived have been forced to adjust to the new harsh wasteland. As you'd expect from this, there are quite a few awful individuals you can encounter in the Fallout games. From brutal dictators to mutant overlords, you don't really know who you'll encounter in these games. Here are some of the most evil characters in the whole entire Fallout universe. Now this video is actually a sequel to another video I made a while back, so if there's a character that I missed on this list, you might check out the original to see if they made it on that one. With all that out of the way, onto the video. One of the shining monuments of the Mojave Wasteland is Dinky the Dinosaur, the centerpiece of the town of Novak. On the outside, the town looks innocent enough, but there's a resident here hiding a dark secret. In the quest, One for My Baby, Boone wants us to find the person who sold his wife to Legion slavers. He's convinced that it has to be someone from the town, but he doesn't know who yet. This is where we come in. Now, Boone's wife Carla wasn't the most likable woman. She wasn't a bad person, she just found herself extremely bored with the rinky-dink town of Novak. This better-than-you attitude made her extremely unpopular around town. After doing some digging around town, if one is to check the safe inside of the hotel lobby, you'll find a horrifying revelation. Jeannie Mae Crawford, the owner and operator of the motel, not only sold Carla away to Legion slavers, but she also sold her unborn child. Now this might be small scale compared to some villains in the series, but Jeannie Mae has always stood out to me as one of the most truly evil characters. To sell not only an innocent woman, but her unborn child into a hard life of Legion slavery is truly reprehensible. While we're not able to save Boone's family in the end, we can at least avenge him. The Capital Wasteland is one of the most dangerous and unforgiving places in post-war America. If unlucky travelers aren't picked off by the local wildlife or horrific mutant creatures, you could be picked up by something arguably worse. Paradise Falls is the largest slaver den in the DC area. Here, you'll find some of the most depraved people in the wasteland, but there's one here that stands out as the worst of a bad bunch. Eulogy Jones is the head slaver of Paradise Falls, a title which comes with it some of the worst acts a person can do to someone. Nothing is off limits to Jones. One has to look no further than his two personal slaves, Crimson and Clover. The two were once simple wasteland prostitutes before Jones kidnapped them and proceeded to mentally break them, to the point where they no longer remember their old lives. They don't speak to others without explicit permission from Jones, and will die for him without any hesitation. I'm not going to go into what Jones uses these women for, but one look at his bedroom should confirm any doubts you had. He's also notable for his use of child slaves too. In fact, he'll even ask you to bring him any children you find on your travels. He's one of the few characters in the whole game to have very evil karma. Luckily, the player can deal with them as they see fit. Out of all the corporations of pre-war America, Vault-Tec is without a doubt the darkest. Under the guise of providing shelter from the inevitable nuclear war, these vaults were used to conduct chilling experiments on innocent people. Out of all of America's vaults, one of the most terrifying has to be Vault 112, thanks in part to its overseer, Stanislaus Braun. For the past 200 years, Braun has been mentally torturing and tormenting the residents of the vault in every way he can think of. He does this using his Tranquility Loungers. The residents of the vault have been trapped inside these custom virtual reality pods for 2 centuries, living out the sick fantasies of Braun himself. The main simulation at play here is Tranquility Lane, a replica of a pre-war suburban neighborhood. Braun assumes the role of Betty, a young girl in the neighborhood. It's here where he plays his sick games on the residents. There's no limit to what Braun did to the poor people of Vault 12, but it usually culminated with the painful murders of the whole neighborhood, followed by resetting the simulation and wiping their memories. Luckily for the player, we can doom Braun to an end fit only for him. The simulation has a secret failsafe built into it that will result in the death of all the inhabitants. All but Braun. Not only do we finally end the suffering of the vault residents, but we doom Braun to an eternal digital hell from which he can never escape. There are a multitude of factions that have cropped up in post-war America, but few are as feared and wicked as Caesar's Legion. Corporal punishment, slavery. The Legion are one of the most brutal groups around. Many would assume that the leader of the Legion, Caesar, is the worst the group has to offer, but would you believe there's someone even more brutal than the man himself. Legate Lanius is the Legion's second in command. With a name like the Monster of the East, it's no surprise that Lanius is one of the most feared men in the entire wasteland. Under Caesar's banner, Lanius led his army of legionaries all across the east, dominating all tribes that stood in his way. You either joined, or you died. He's so feared that many dread that upon the death of Caesar, Lanius will take control of the Legion. As bad as the Legion are now, it would only worsen under his command. The man was so notorious that he's become somewhat of a legend among legionaries, with many not even believing he's real. Those who have encountered him, though, know just how real he is. The courier can ultimately meet Lanius during the Second Battle of the Hoover Dam, and he more than lives up to the legend. Now how this encounter ends is up to the player. Lanius isn't above reason, so he will hear you out if you try to talk it out. If you go for the second option though, good luck. For the last character on the list, the most evil character is you. If you want. Yeah, it's usually the player that has the option to do the most awful stuff in these games. I mean it, you can really fuck the world up. Examples include but aren't limited to nuking a city, enslaving children, dropping another nuke, placing live grenades into people's pockets, destroying a girl's teddy bear, dropping another nuke, and doing whatever the fuck this is.
Please assume the position.
Now, of course, all this is optional. You don't have to do any of it. But you kind of want to, don't you? Just a little bit, right? Take the shot. No one's watching. Those are just a few of the most evil Fallout characters. If I missed any, let me know down below in the comments, and I might add them in a future installment. If you liked the video, liking and subscribing really helps the channel out a lot. I post videos just like this all the time, so be sure to turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any. I think that's all for me. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.